Right, we've been rained off today, so I thought it would be useful to go through some business ideas with you. And today we're going to look at how you can start your lawn mowing business using AI to give you all the information you need, inspiration, and to help you get over that blank sheet of paper start that most people might have. So don't forget, you can always come and visit lawnmowingbusiness.co.uk, where I've got loads and loads of information, tons of articles to help you start and run your lawn mowing business. I've spent a lot of hours on this, and there's a huge amount of information. We get loads of visitors every month. So please be sure to check it out and see what you think. So what we're going to do, we're going to use Chat GPT. You may have heard a bit about Chat GPT over the years. All you need to do is you can use a Google account or an email address, log in, and it's totally free. And we use these things called prompts to help you to ask the computer to generate some answers for you. Okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to start from a ground up new lawn mowing business, and we're going to give it all the information it needs to help us along the way. So the first thing we want to do is find out what the most affluent areas are in our area, in our locality. So I'm going to put in here, let's say near Northampton. Okay. Right. And we also wanted to use UK English spelling and grammar. You might want to change that to be US if that's where you're located. So let's go. Go. There we are. So you'll see it starts generating really quickly as to where all the various different places are local to Northampton that have some form of affluency about them, because what we don't want to do, we don't want to start a lawn mowing business and be chasing after the people that knock you down, that want to pay as little as possible, that haggle with you. It's just not worth it. I found, and the way that I found success from this business is to target the very top end of the market, where price isn't really a factor. And the biggest thing they're trying to solve is they just want to get the problem off their list. They don't want to do the lawn mowing, and they just want someone trustworthy and reliable, and they're willing to pay for that. So here we are. So Northampton, here's some areas: Harleston, Pittsford, Great Brington, Collingtree, Moulton, Dallington and Bugbrook, all of which are, according to the information sources it has, potentially more affluent areas than others. So it's a good way to start and decide who you're gonna target. Okay, now we need to tell it we're going to start the business. Okay. So what I've done here, I want to start a lawn mowing business that appeals to the wealthy homeowners in these areas. What should I call it? The name must relate to the wealthy areas that ChatGPT has mentioned, and the name could take inspiration from historical local figures, famous local landmarks, or perhaps prominent local buildings, or even well-known coachy houses. So we're just trying to align the brand of the business with these sorts of things that I've just mentioned, because it helps build up a bit of a picture as to who you are, what you do, and why the customer should trust you. It's a nice bit of branding. It's better than just calling yourself John Smith Garden Services. No offence to John Smith, of course. Right, so I want to start a lawn mowing business that appeals to wealthy homeowners in these areas. What should I call it? Let's go on ChatGPT, give me some answers. Here we are. So, Heritage Lawn Estates Care, Gentry Greens Lawns, Manor Mow Services, Harleston Haven Lawn Care, Pittsford Prestige, Brington Manor Lawn Care, Collingtree Elegance Lawn Services, Moulton Manor Greens, Dallington Manor Lawn Care, Bugbrook Estate Lawns. I think you can ask it to generate some more if you want. So if you don't particularly like any of those, you can just write give me 10 more. Give me 10 more, and here we go. Yeah, I'll come up with a whole new if you didn't particularly like any of those. But I actually quite like the first option that came out with Heritage Lawn Estates Care. Get rid of the estates care, and we're just going to choose the name of our business today is going to be Heritage Lawn Care. Okay. So now what we're going to do is ask Chat GPT to develop that name further. and start building our business. Okay, so we're now going to go down here, develop heritage lawn care further. Bearing in mind, we only undertake lawn mowing and lawn care. Okay, so we've given it the parameters of what our business will do. Off we go. Right, here we go. Let's develop it. So this is now, so they've now come up with all this information. Heritage Lawn Care, preserving elegance from the ground up. At Heritage Lawn Care, we're dedicated to upholding the timeless beauty and sophistication of your estate's landscape. So you could change that if you wanted to your garden's landscape. We're actually going to go back in and in the next stage and tell it to be a little bit less flowery, because ChatGPT has a penchant for being slightly over the top with some of its words. Okay, so a bit about what we do, our services, why choose us. So what it's done is it's given us a whole little page here of information about the company that you could actually then say, oh, okay, fine, well, Heritage Lawn Care already exists now. Great. But what we want to do is actually develop this further. So what we're going to ask it to do next is to turn all the text required for an SEO efficient homepage, a website, where the keywords that Google will be looking for are lawn mowing service in X and grass cutting service in X, where X is all the affluent areas that ChatGPT had mentioned earlier. Now, make sure that each instance of that word is only includes one place name, so it's not necessarily a list of all the different places that you operate in. And each combination is mentioned multiple times so that Google picks up the fact that you work in those areas. Now, this is the bit that I want to talk to you about down here. Don't use over-the-top superlatives or adjectives. Yes, ChatGPT talks about, I don't know, state, all sorts of weird and wonderful words. It's probably not. It's probably not. I mean, yeah, okay. The legacy of your estate. It's a bit over the top. So we're going to ask it to tone it down a bit. Keep it simple, professional, and down to earth. Also, don't refer to any area as affluent or wealthy, because if you ask it to elaborate on some of this stuff, it goes a bit over the top and will say things like, "Yes, we work in your affluent area," which is just naff. So you don't want to go along with that. So use a bit more gentle terms to describe how pleasant areas are, and the sections that we need are going to be a headline, strapline, introduction, services, about us, where we work, how to contact us, and please mention my name as part of the text and talk about the attention to detail, positivity and desire for customer satisfaction. So you can always adjust all of this stuff to your own requirements, but it's a good way to start building a business. By the way, my name is John Smith, so that could be whatever the particular name is, but we're going to use John Smith. He is going to be our guinea pig for the day. So if we put that in there, right, here we go. So Heritage Lawn Care, exceptional lawn mowing and care services in your pleasant haven. So you probably want to change that slightly. You could probably elevating the beauty of your green spaces one cut at a time is probably, a pretty good strapline for your company. So here we are. Welcome to Heritage Lawn Care, where precision and care come together to craft stunning landscapes that reflect the allure of your cherished surroundings. Again, it's going a bit over the top. We've tried to ask you to tone it down, but you can always go back in and edit this stuff anyway. So we take pride in our commitment to delivering superior lawn mowing and grass cutting services in the serene neighbourhoods of Harleston. So it's chosen that as one of them because we've told it to. But again, you can tweak this to suit exactly where you think you're going to work and operate out of. It's not doing everything for us, but it's certainly given us something to work with. So it's brought to you by John Smith. We have an unwavering focus on detail, positivity and customer satisfaction. We transform your outdoor spaces into picturesque havens of tranquility. Well, if a customer wants any more than a picturesque haven of tranquility, then they're going to, what more can you offer than that? Okay, our services, lawn mowing and lawn care. We specialise in 2 core services that breathe life into your property. Our expert lawn mowing service ensures each blade is expertly trimmed to perfection, presenting a neat and inviting appearance that enhances your space. Our meticulous grass cutting service in Harleston is testament to John Smith's dedication to precision, resulting in lawns that embody beauty and elegance. Founded by John Smith, Heritage Lawn Care is rooted in a passion for elevating the natural beauty of your estate. Again, you probably want to put garden in there. John's attention to detail, unwavering positivity, and commitment to customer satisfaction infuse every aspect of our service. With a wealth of experience and an eye for perfection, we take pride in preserving the charm of your outdoor spaces through exceptional lawn mowing and care. Now, that's a pretty reasonable paragraph that ChatGPT has written there for us, so we could probably wholesale use that. So we proudly serve the tranquil neighbourhoods of Harleston. So it's gone off a bit of a tangent here, but you probably want to make your own adjustments in there, embracing each distinct locality with our unparalleled lawn mowing and grass cutting expertise. Explore the harmonious blend of precision and care brought to you by John Smith in every corner of this picturesque area. A little bit flowery, but you could probably tone it down yourself. You get the idea. How to contact us. Are you ready to experience the remarkable transformation to your lawn? Contact Heritage Lawn Care today and let John Smith's meticulous approach and dedication to customer satisfaction revitalise your outdoor oasis. Reach out to us, put your phone number, email address in to schedule your lawn mowing and grass cutting service in Harleston. Allow us to shape your green haven with our passion and expertise. Experience the difference with Heritage Lawn Care. So, yes, still flowery, still over the top, but it's certainly better than looking at a blank sheet of paper trying to come up with some words for yourself. Now what we want to do is expand each area to be 500 words. You've got a bit more stuff to play with. Right. There we go. Now let's see this. Yes, it's come out with stuff like your verdant splendour. Not ideal, but anyway, this is just to illustrate that what you're going to do is you can keep going back and asking it to do things. You can get it to refine things, but at the end of the day, you can just copy and paste this into a Word document and edit it yourself. So it's a damn good start. Within 5 minutes, we have pretty much the whole idea of a name of a company, where we're going to work. We've got some words we can use to describe what we do. Perfect. But here's the really interesting bit. So it's not just really good at generating website text for you that you can use as a basis to work from. What we also now want to do is generate a marketing plan. So 5 minutes ago, we didn't have a name of a company. Now we've got a name, we've got a strap line, we've got some words about where it is we work, what the services are we offer, and why we're so good. Now I want it to create a cheap and easy plan for me to find my first 10 local customers quickly. Outline all the main steps in detail for each stage. Include sorting out a website using Squarespace, using all the marketing tools that Google has to offer, and also offer some ideas for me to use both social media and traditional methods to market my new business. Let's see what ChatGPT comes up with. Right, here is my business plan. Right, we're going to set up a Squarespace website. That's the first thing we're going to do. So there we are, add a services page, about us page, contact details. It's a nice checklist to work from. You need a website. My website generates all my business, and customers always tell me how much it really improved my brand and helped them understand what I was on about. I don't do any work on Facebook. I don't do any work on any of the other social media platforms either. All my work is just Google related. Google My Business. So slightly out of date. What they actually mean is Google Maps. So you got to get yourself on the map. Maybe put the dot where your house is, the pin where your house is, or put it in the centre of the area that you want to work in. But it's a really useful way of getting people to find your business instantly. It's free. You can be up there within a couple of days. Perfect. Google Ads. I've never actually bothered with Google Ads. I haven't needed to do that. Google Analytics. I mean, again, Squarespace has got its own analytics tools built in to help you see where all your work is coming from. They're saying use a bit of Facebook and Instagram. If that's your thing, fine. I don't think you're going to find anything on LinkedIn. But here's some ideas: flyers and door hangers. So again, you might want to get you've got a name, you've got some text. It's now going to produce some flyers for you. Suggesting you produce some flyers. You can ask it, what text should I put on my flyers? And it will come out with some information for you. So that's really good. Door hangers, they're quite popular in America. They're a bit like those things you get on your rearview mirror when you have a hire car, but you just go around and you hang them on people's door handles. in the area you're working, which is fine. But if you can't get to the front door of the house because they've got electric gates or something, then you're wasting your money there. Just push it through the post box. Sorry. A bit of advertising in local newspapers and magazines. Again, I don't find that necessarily that useful. I mean, networking, obviously, if you know neighbours, people, referrals, anything like that, you might be able to get some work. But people that know you won't necessarily know where you're trying to position your business. So the people you might know might be fussy about price. They might not know how to charge large amounts of money. I want to target the top end of the market. So whether or not you've got any access into that is up to you. So again, so customer engagement, you could get people signed up for an incentive. If you want to get 10 customers on the books, what are you going to do? You're going to offer them a discount for the first 5 cuts or something? I don't know. Come up with some ideas, or ask Chat GPT to come up with some ideas. Always build your testimonials. Once you're on Google Maps, you can get people to leave you a Google review, and then that means that you can start building up a local profile. Best thing you can do. And then keep an eye on things, monitor them. Right. Okay, so let's recap. In the last few minutes, we have generated a business name. We know where we're going to work. We've got some website text and branding. We've now got a marketing plan of everything we need to do. This is one of the most interesting bits. What on earth are we going to charge for our lawn mowing services? Okay, so this is what we're going to ask ChatGPT. I want to know what I should charge for my lawn mowing services. Fine. I want to earn £35,000 a year. I only want to work Monday to Friday. And please bear in mind that work is slow in November, December, January and February. So I think I will only be able to work half the time in these months. So that's when you can take your holiday. I'll be investing £5,000 in machinery. Now, you could change that. You might want to put £10,000. You might want to put £2,500. I suggest £5,000 is a fairly reasonable setup budget. So that's £2,000 mowers. It's a good blower, £500 blower. It's a £500 strimmer, and then it's all the other hand tools and buckets and wolf garden stuff that you might want. So £5,000, good budget. And that will need, bearing in mind that this £5,000 you spend is only going to last you 3 years. So that will need replacing. So you have to factor that into the cost. You want to lease a van that costs about £5,000 a year in lease costs, tax and insurance. Now, you could put in there how much you're going to spend on the van, and that van will need replacing in 5 years or something. So again, you can adjust the text here to suit what you want it to do. I like to lease because I like to have a new van every 3 years because then they don't break down, they're clean, and I can spec them how I want them. So plus, there's about £3,500 worth of other stuff. So that might be your marketing budget. It might be accountancy fees, uniform. You always come, stationery, laptop. That might be £5,000. It might be £1,500 a year. It might be £10,000 a year. I don't know. 3.5 sounds about right to me. So you'd have to pay for fuel in the van as well. And that costs £1.70 a litre. My van does 35 mpg. And I drive about 12,000 miles a year. So adjust these figures to suit you. I always think it's better to err on the side of caution and use significantly worse figures because why not? Better to end up with too much money being earned than not enough. And I use about £10 of fuel each day in the mowers. So how much should you be generating each day to achieve this, including a 20% profit margin added on top to enable you to reinvest and grow the business? Round that daily figure up to the nearest £25. So here we go. This is the way that I price jobs. Although my figures might actually end up being a bit more. But let's have a look. Okay. ChatGPT, away you go. Here we go. So, my annual earnings goal is £35,000. I can only work 5 days a week, Mondays and Fridays. Now this will be reduced for 4 months in November, December, January and February, which means that I have 4 months when I can only do 10 days. The rest of the year, I've got 240 days. So that's how many that I can work. Now, here's my annual business expenses. Machinery replacement, 5,000 every 3 years. That's what we discussed. So that's £1,600 a year that's going to cost us. The van, £5,000 a year. Other expenses, van for the fuel for the van, £581 a year. And then we're working 240 days a year, £10 a day. That's £2,500 a year on fuel for the mowers. Annual expenses are £13,138. So, therefore, we want to earn £35,000 a year. Our annual expenses are £13,000 a year, which means that we have to generate £48,000 of revenue a year if we're going to earn £35,000 a year. This is back of the envelope stuff, but it goes to show that you can't just divide £35,000 by however many days you want to work a year, because you're missing out this dramatic amount here of what your actual costs are. So we need to generate the best part of £50,000 a year if we're going to pay ourselves 35. Now, £48,000 a year divided by 240 days is £200 a day. Add in the profit margin of 20% means we need to be earning £240 a day. So, here we go. To achieve your annual desired income of £35,000, with the expenses we've discussed and a 20% profit margin, you should aim to generate approximately £240 in revenue each working day. Rounded up to the nearest 25 for simplicity, my daily revenue target should be £250. There we go. There's our number. If we want to make these figures work, and we're just starting out our business, there's a good idea here. You want to generate at least £250 a day. Now, I'm not blowing my own trumpet here, but mostly I try and do about £500 a day. And if I'm doing lawn care and other treatments and stuff on top, I might be able to, in some days I can do £600, £700, £800 a day. Not every day. Some of the commercial stuff I can earn quite a lot on, but these are different figures. I mean, I've got an established business that's been going for 10 years with a wonderful customer base. It's taken me 10 years to get there. So you're just starting out. 250 is probably quite a reasonable place to start. So this is then how if you then want to know how to price, so that's fine, but how do you price a job? So I never quote an hourly rate to my customers. I always say, that's the price for the job. How much to cut my grass? This is how much how much it will cost to cut your grass. And then some days I'll win some days I'll lose some, but across the year it averages out. Now don't forget that we've got 20% additional profit margin built into our price anyway. So we can be 20% plus or minus, and across the year we've got even more leeway to ensure that we make the right level of money. So for example, let's say I can hit the daily revenue target, rounded up to the nearest £25 in 6 hours. Because I think if you can do an 8-hour day, you're going to spend 2 hours driving around and having lunch and breaks and whatnot. So there's 6 hours available of labour there. To make the maths really easy, how much would I have to charge for a job that takes half an hour, 1 hour, 1.5 hours, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours? So this is really simple then. You've got 6 hours maximum that you can sell a day. Okay. 6 hours you can sell a day. So from my perspective, if you have got, here we go. If you've got this is now saying that we've got £250 a day, 6 hours a day, which means our hourly rate is actually £41.67. So there you go. That is what your internal hourly rate is for the business, but you never tell a customer that. You never tell a customer that. This, I would say, half an hour job is probably your minimum charge. I don't know. I'd actually probably say that, because there'll be some driving to and from this job. I've got another article somewhere or other on the website, lawnmowingbusiness.co.uk, that talks about how to price your lawn mowing jobs. So it's not just how long you have on site actually doing the work, it's how long it takes you to drive to the job, how long it takes you to set up for the job, blow, lawn mowing, how long it takes you to cut the grass itself, have a chat with the customer, all that kind of stuff. And you'll then come out with a figure as to how many minutes that job is going to take you. So the next thing that we can do is say, okay, well, that's what it is. So a half an hour job is £41 times half an hour is £20 for that job. Now, I'd probably say you've got to have a minimum of at least £35 for a job to make it even worthwhile going to see them. So £35, £40 your minimum job, perhaps an hour, 41.67. So if someone said, you know, the lawn's going to take 40 minutes to cut, there's a bit of setup, a bit of blowing afterwards, you've got to get there, or a bit of chat with them, and it's going to take you, so a 40-minute mowing job might take you an hour to complete. 41 quid, you might say, all right, madam, sir, madam, that's £45 for you. And they'll say, okay, great, go ahead. Fine. They don't need to know about these numbers because there's so much maths got into them that it's not really relevant to them. That's your internal rate that you need to achieve to hit your daily goal of £250. And so the same goes on. If it's a two hours on the job on the site, so that might be a 1 hour and 40-minute mowing plus 20 minutes worth of travelling and chat and tidy up and all that kind of stuff. So you're going to say 41.67 for 2 hours, £83. Now, when I quote my customers, sometimes I'll go in for a whole number. Sometimes I'll be quite specific. I'll get a vibe off them sometimes and decide whether or not I think they will prefer the full number or not. So that could be an £85 cut, and there we go. So and so we carry on, and. So you could have not many jobs take more than 4 hours, I would say, on site. They're quite rare. I've got a couple that are about that level. I charge more than that for those. I've got one job that takes me about 3.5 hours of mowing, and they're about £300, including VAT. There or thereabouts, but there's a bit more travel involved with those ones. That are a bit further away, so it's a nice way of working out how much you're going to charge for jobs. And there you go. So we're about 27 minutes in. We know where we're going to target our lawn mowing business. We know exactly where we are going to what we're going to call it. We know who we're targeting. We know who our customers is. We've got a marketing plan. We've got website text, and we know how much we're going to charge. So within half an hour of sitting down, we have started our lawn mowing business. We're ready to go. All we have to do is do it. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it's been a bit boring looking at the screen. We're not looking at mowers this week. But I really appreciate your time. Please take the time to have a look at the website. This is one of our most popular articles at the moment, cutting grass in the wet. Can you, if so, how to mow it? I mean, tens of thousands of people are reading this article at the moment. And there's so much information on there. You know, don't use a heavy mower, don't use a roller mower, use a purpose-made mower. All sorts of information. Downsides, fungus, all this sort of stuff. There's a really great link here to Ventisky. That is an excellent weather planning app that I use. All that sort of stuff. So there you go. Thanks for stopping by. Please visit the website, and please like the video if you can. Leave us a comment. Let you know what you think. Let me know if you had any success with it. And hope to see you on the next video.